Welcome to Wisdom of the Stoicism. Have you ever wondered if you're truly living as your authentic self? Imagine a life where your actions align with your deepest values, where you find peace in being unapologetically you. Sounds empowering, doesn't it? Today, we're exploring 10 signs you are living authentically. These insights, inspired by Stoic philosophy, will help you identify how aligned you are with your true self and guide you toward greater inner peace and fulfillment. Let's uncover these timeless lessons and transform the way you live. Sign number 1. You know your values. Living authentically begins with clarity about what truly matters to you. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves making decisions based on external expectations rather than our inner principles? When you know your values, you create a solid foundation for every choice you make. In Stoicism, values are central to living a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this when he said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Your values act as a compass, guiding your actions and decisions toward what is virtuous and meaningful. They help you remain grounded in a world full of distractions. For example, imagine being offered an opportunity that conflicts with your integrity, like taking a lucrative job that requires compromising your ethical standards. If you're clear about your values, you'll find the strength to say no, even if it's challenging. Living authentically means aligning your actions with your principles, regardless of external pressures. When you know your values, you also resist the need for external validation. Success becomes less about meeting societal expectations and more about living in harmony with what you truly believe. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, finding peace and purpose within, rather than chasing it outside yourself. Here's a simple exercise. Take a moment today to write down your top 3 values. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with these? Reflect on your actions and decisions from the past week. Did they honor your principles? This practice strengthens your moral compass, helping you build an authentic life guided by what matters most to you. Knowing your values isn't just the first step to authenticity, it's the cornerstone of a meaningful and resilient life. Sign number 2. You embrace vulnerability. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Vulnerability can feel uncomfortable or even risky, but here's the truth. Being vulnerable is a strength, not a weakness. It's about being honest with yourself and others, showing up as your authentic self, even when it's hard. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and let go of what we cannot. Vulnerability fits into this perfectly. When we embrace vulnerability, we let go of the fear of judgment or rejection. Instead, we focus on living authentically, rooted in self-awareness and courage. For example, think about a time you admitted a mistake or shared a personal struggle. It might have felt uncomfortable in the moment, but what happened afterward? Often these moments lead to deeper connections with others and a greater sense of inner peace. That's because vulnerability fosters trust and reminds us of our shared humanity. Epictetus said, "He who is not afraid of failure will never face it." Vulnerability requires that same courage. By acknowledging our fears, weaknesses, or emotions, we free ourselves from the need to wear a mask. It allows us to live more openly and honestly. Here's something to try. The next time you feel vulnerable, pause and ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing or revealing? Can I let go of this fear and embrace this moment as an opportunity to grow? Reflect on how showing vulnerability deepens your relationships and strengthens your character. Living authentically means owning your story, flaws and all, By embracing vulnerability, you take a step closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. Sign number 3. You surround yourself with supportive people. Authenticity flourishes when you're surrounded by those who uplift and encourage you to be your true self. Stoics like Seneca understood the importance of relationships, saying, "Associate with those who make you a better person." Supportive relationships are built on mutual respect and trust. They're not about conformity or convenience, but about celebrating individuality and fostering growth. When you're authentic, you naturally attract people who align with your values. People who see you for who you truly are and accept you unconditionally. Think about the people in your life. Are they encouraging your growth, or are they holding you back? Supportive people aren't afraid to challenge you constructively, but they do so with kindness and your best interests at heart. These are the relationships that help you thrive. On the flip side, authenticity may sometimes mean letting go of relationships that drain you or push you to compromise your values. It's not easy, but it's a necessary step in building a life aligned with your true self. Remember, the Stoics valued quality over quantity in friendships. Here's an exercise to try. Reflect on your closest relationships and ask yourself, do these people accept me as I am? Do they inspire me to grow into the best version of myself? If the answer is yes, nurture those connections. If not, it might be time to create space for more supportive relationships. Surrounding yourself with the right people creates an environment where authenticity can thrive. These are the people who remind you of your worth, celebrate your journey, and walk alongside you as you grow into your truest self. Sign number 4. You follow your passions. Living authentically means prioritizing what makes your soul come alive. For the Stoics, this was about aligning your actions with your purpose, doing what you're naturally drawn to, not what society or others dictate. When you follow your passions, you're honoring a deep part of who you are. Whether it's pursuing a creative outlet, excelling in a profession you love, or dedicating time to a meaningful cause, your passions provide a sense of joy and fulfillment. They're what make your journey unique. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of living in harmony with our true nature. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." By following your passions, you're not just chasing goals. You're living in alignment with your authentic self. Think about this. Have you ever felt a spark of energy when doing something you love? That's a sign you're on the right path. But here's the challenge. Sometimes life's demands or fears of judgment can pull us away from our passions. Authentic living requires courage to prioritize what matters to you, even when it's inconvenient or unconventional. Here's an exercise. Take a few moments to reflect on what lights you up. What activities make you lose track of time? What dreams or interests have you put on hold? Write them down and ask yourself, how can I integrate these passions into my daily life? Following your passions isn't about abandoning responsibilities, it's about weaving what you love into your life. When you live authentically, pursuing your passions becomes an expression of your true self, bringing meaning, energy, and purpose to everything you do. Sign number 5. You set boundaries. Living authentically means knowing your limits and protecting your energy. For the Stoics, boundaries weren't just about saying no, they were about maintaining harmony and staying true to your values. Setting boundaries allows you to focus on what truly matters. Think about it. How often do you overcommit to things out of guilt or fear of disappointing others? When you live authentically, you recognize that saying no to what drains you is saying yes to what fulfills you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Setting boundaries is an act of inner strength. It's about controlling how you invest your time, energy, and focus. For example, imagine you're constantly being asked to take on extra work, even though it's not your responsibility. By setting a boundary, politely but firmly, you honor your limits and preserve your well-being. This isn't selfish. It's essential for living authentically and sustainably. Here's a practice to try. Reflect on areas in your life where you feel stretched too thin. Ask yourself, what do I need to say no to so I can say yes to my priorities? Start small. Maybe it's setting clear work hours or carving out time for yourself without distractions. When you set boundaries, you're not only protecting your time, you're reinforcing your self-worth. Authenticity isn't about pleasing everyone, it's about living in alignment with your values and needs. Boundaries create the space you need to thrive, helping you build a life that reflects who you truly are. Sign number 6, you practice self-compassion. Living authentically isn't about being perfect, it's about embracing your humanity. And part of that is treating yourself with the kindness and understanding you'd offer a friend. Stoicism often emphasizes resilience, but it also recognizes the importance of self-care. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Self-compassion gives you the strength to let go of self-criticism and focus on growth instead. Think about this. How do you talk to yourself when things go wrong? Do you beat yourself up over mistakes, or do you offer yourself grace? Practicing self-compassion means acknowledging that everyone stumbles. It's a reminder that you're a work in progress, and that's okay. For example, imagine you've missed a deadline at work. Instead of dwelling on it, self-compassion allows you to recognize the circumstances, learn from the experience, and move forward without unnecessary guilt. It's about balancing accountability with forgiveness. Here's a simple exercise. At the end of the day, reflect on any challenges you faced. Ask yourself, if my best friend were in my shoes, how would I encourage them? Then, direct that same kindness toward yourself. This practice can shift your inner dialogue and strengthen your sense of worth. When you practice self-compassion, you create space for authenticity to flourish. You allow yourself to show up as you are, flaws and all, and you build resilience to face life's challenges with grace. Remember, treating yourself kindly isn't indulgent. It's essential for living a balanced, authentic life. Sign number 7, you are honest with yourself and others. Authenticity thrives on honesty. When you live authentically, you have the courage to confront your truths and express them openly, even when it's not the easiest path. Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity and truth in all things. Marcus Aurelius said, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." Being honest means staying aligned with your values, even when faced with pressure to do otherwise. Honesty with yourself requires self-awareness. It's about acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. Are you chasing goals because they matter to you or because they're expected of you? Are your decisions based on fear or are they rooted in your core beliefs? When you're honest with yourself, you can course correct and live in alignment with your true self. Honesty with others deepens relationships and builds trust. For example, imagine a situation where a friend asks for advice and you know the truth might be hard for them to hear. Being honest, delivered with kindness, strengthens your bond and respects their ability to handle the truth. Here's a practice to try. At the end of the day, reflect on your interactions. Ask yourself, did I speak and act in alignment with my values today? If not, think about what you could do differently next time. Over time, this practice helps you become more mindful of your words and actions. Honesty isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. By being truthful with yourself and others, you create a life rooted in integrity and build relationships that are genuine and meaningful. Remember, honesty is the foundation of living authentically. Sign number 8, you accept imperfection. Living authentically isn't about being flawless, it's about embracing your humanity. When you accept imperfection, you let go of the need to appear perfect and instead focus on living with honesty, humility, and self-compassion. The Stoics were deeply aware of human limitations. Seneca wrote, "What progress have I made? I am beginning to be my own friend." This idea reminds us that imperfection is not a weakness. It's an opportunity to grow, learn, and become more authentic. Think about it. How often do we hide our flaws, fearing judgment or rejection? But when you embrace imperfection, you stop pretending to be something you're not. You allow yourself to be vulnerable, which fosters deeper connections with others and strengthens your sense of self-worth. For example, imagine you're working on a project and it doesn't turn out exactly as planned. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you focus on what you've learned and how the experience has helped you grow. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean settling for less. It means recognizing that growth is a journey, not a destination. Here's a simple exercise. Reflect on a time when you felt embarrassed about a mistake or flaw. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? How did it help me grow? Write down your insights and see how they've shaped your character. When you accept imperfection, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of unattainable standards. You embrace your unique journey, flaws and all, and find peace in knowing that authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about being real. Accepting imperfection is not just a sign of authenticity. It's a gift of grace you give to yourself and others. Sign number 9. You trust your intuition. Living authentically means listening to that quiet inner voice, guiding you toward what feels right for you. Your intuition is a deep connection to your true self, and trusting it allows you to make decisions that align with who you are, rather than who the world expects you to be. The Stoics understood the importance of self-trust. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Trusting your intuition is about mastering the art of inner listening, tuning into your feelings, instincts, and values to guide your choices. Think about a time when you ignored your gut feeling, only to regret it later. Maybe you agreed to something that didn't sit well with you, or you hesitated when you should have acted. Intuition often speaks in subtle ways, nudging us toward our authentic path. Ignoring it can lead to choices that feel misaligned, while trusting it helps us live with integrity. Trusting your intuition doesn't mean dismissing logic or reason. It's about balancing your inner voice with thoughtful consideration. For example, if you're offered a new opportunity but something doesn't feel right, take a moment to reflect. What is your intuition telling you? What does it align with in your values and long-term goals? Here's a simple practice. When faced with a decision, pause and take a few deep breaths. Ask yourself, what feels true to me in this moment? Listen to your initial instinct before overthinking or seeking external opinions. Over time, this strengthens your ability to trust yourself. Living authentically means honoring your intuition as a guide. When you trust your inner voice, you make choices that resonate with your true self, leading to a life of greater clarity, confidence, and alignment. Sign number 10. You live in the present moment. In a world full of distractions and endless to-do lists, this might seem like a challenge, but for the Stoics, living in the present is essential for authenticity and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius himself said, "Confine yourself to the present." When you're truly present, you're not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. You're fully engaged with the here and now, appreciating life as it unfolds. This focus on the present helps you align with your true self, free from regrets or anxieties about what's beyond your control. Think about the times you've truly felt alive, those moments when you were completely immersed in an experience. Maybe it was a walk in nature, a heartfelt conversation, or simply enjoying a meal. These moments remind us that life isn't about rushing to the next thing. It's about savoring the journey. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or planning for the future. It's about recognizing that this very moment is all you truly have. When you embrace the present, you're able to respond to life authentically, rather than reacting based on past fears or future worries. Here's a practice to try. Throughout your day, pause and take a few deep breaths. Notice your surroundings, the sights, sounds, and sensations. Ask yourself, am I fully here, or is my mind elsewhere? This simple act of mindfulness can anchor you in the present moment. Remember, authenticity thrives in the now. By living in the present, you connect more deeply with yourself and the world around you. It's not just a sign of authenticity, it's the foundation of a life filled with purpose, peace, and gratitude. And there you have it. 10 powerful signs that show you're living authentically. Each one reminds us that authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about living in alignment with your true self, embracing your values, and finding peace in the journey. As we explored today, living authentically means knowing your values, embracing vulnerability, surrounding yourself with supportive people, following your passions, setting boundaries, practicing self-compassion, being honest, accepting imperfection, trusting your intuition, and living in the present moment. These aren't just steps, they're principles that lead to a life of integrity, fulfillment, and inner peace. So, which sign resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Remember, each small step toward authenticity is a victory worth celebrating. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more people seeking wisdom and growth. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video from Wisdom of the Stoicism. For more content on Stoic philosophy, self-growth, and living authentically, check out our playlist here. Point to an on-screen playlist link. Thank you for joining us on this journey toward authenticity and inner peace. Stay true to yourself. Keep growing. And remember, your authenticity is your greatest strength. Until next time, take care and keep living authentically. See you in the next video.